Another winning day, 8-3 run, 13 of the last 14 winning days, and it's Dinger Tuesday, baby. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I'm your host, Steven. Happy Dinger Tuesday to everyone. We had a 2-2 day, but it was a profitable day. That's right. Somehow we just find some profit even on these 2-2 days to make it 13 of the last 14 days. We're going to go over the recap in a bit. But you guys know what time it is. It is time for that Dinger Tuesday contest, and we are not doing a cash giveaway this time. We are doing, that's right, 1 month free of Outlier. Be sure to go sign up down below. But let's try to win this 1 month free of Outlier today. And here's what you got to do: leave a comment below with your favorite home run bet of the day. But of course, in order to win, you must include the odds and the sports books that you found it. If there's any tiebreakers, then the higher odds win. If there's a tie in the odds, it will be the longest home run hit. And if there's a tie with the same player, then we're going to do a Wednesday showdown. So you guys already know the drill. Leave that home run bet down below. Again, you only get one per person, just FYI. But we got a full 15 game slate today, so I'm ready to get right into it. But of course, that means we start with the baseball fun fact. So here we go. John Miller hit a home run in his first ever at bat in his last ever at bat. Those were the only two home runs in his entire career. He had 309 at bats in the major leagues and bookended it with a home run in the first and last. That's pretty awesome. It was in the 60s, by the way, in case you're curious. But in this video, we're going to recap yesterday and then go over those good and bad hitter matchups and then talk about those good pitcher strikeout matchups, give you the entire full pitcher report. And then, of course, we got that big game breakdown and we wrap it all up with the best bets, hitter parlay ideas, and the bets recap. So hit that like button, leave a comment below like you guys have been doing every single day. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We got football right around the corner. NBA is not that far off as well, and we're grinding away at the MLB right now. So thank you guys. I appreciate all the support so far. Let's get right into the baseball journey, and it starts with the recap. Here it is. It started with the big game breakdown bet of the Reds plus a half in the first 5 innings. They won the first 5 innings easily. That was an awesome bet for, unfortunately, only a half unit. But holy cow, did our day start out terrible. The Rays team total over 3.5. They looked absolutely uninterested in hitting a baseball or just playing baseball in general. They got absolutely crushed. I mentioned yesterday that I thought about doing the over 8.5 in the full game. I wish I did. It would have cashed thanks to the Yankees scoring a ton of runs. But unfortunately, Rays just didn't care to play. Those morning early games can be tricky. But then the only 1 unit play of the day, Bryce Miller with 16.5 outs recorded, comes through without even a sweat. That was a beauty. And then Bailey Obear sucked. He just did. He ended with 4Ks, so it wasn't that far off. But his first 3 innings, I believe, he got 0Ks, something like that. It was just a terrible start, and then he finally started getting Ks just a little bit too late for a half unit. But 2-2, profitable day thanks to that 1 unit winner. As we just keep trying to creep to that 0 mark, so then we can work in the positives. It's been a long season, but I feel like we're heading in the right direction. 13 of the last 14 days have been profitable, and that's all we can ask for. So that's the bets recap for today. And now let's talk some good and bad hitter matchups. All right, we got 15 of these for you, and it starts out with the lefty Christian Yelich, 10 for 29 with 2 bombs off of Jamison Taillon. Just a heads up also on the left side towards the bottom, you see Julio Rodriguez. He is day-to-day right now, so obviously you got to see if he's going to play. But 4 for 9 versus Jose Soriano. And on the right now, obviously it's only 6-7 at-bats for some of these guys. But some of these guys have just hit bombs. Davis Schneider, 2 hits against Tyler Alexander, and both have been home runs. Logan Hoppe, 2 for 6 off Logan Gilbert, 2 home runs against him. So there is some power over there. And then you got Marcelo Zuna, the guy who's cashed a ton of bets for us, 4 for 8 with 2 home runs versus Nick Martinez, so on and so on. So anyways, those are all the best hitter matchups. Take a screenshot. Hopefully that helps you get some winners. And now let's talk those bad hitter matchups, and we have 6 of them for you. That's right. Starting out with Willy Adames, 3 for 17 with 5 Ks. There you go. Eddie Rosario and Tommy Pham both have 16 at-bats. Rosario 2 for 16. Tommy Pham is 1 for 16. And then we got William Contreras. William Contreras. I just confused myself. That is William for the Milwaukee Brewers. 2 for 13 with 2 Ks. And then Isaac Paredes, 1 for 11 with 3 Ks against Jose Barrios. So those are all the hitter matchups we got for you. And now let's talk some arms. All right, we got two good pitcher strikeout matchups for you today, both lefties, and they are dominant lefties. The first one, Chris Sale of the Braves facing the Cincinnati Reds. Even though they've been better against righties when it comes to strikeouts, they've been struggling against lefties. Third highest K percentage at 27.9%, and we know Sale's been the stud. 140 Ks and 110 innings. Little lower K rate at home, but it's still, 30.5% is pretty impressive compared to 34.4%. 7+ Ks now in 6 of his last 7 starts. He has been absolutely consistent this year. And then Garrett Crochet of the White Sox going up against Texas in Texas. Now, Rangers, 7th highest K percentage versus lefties last 3 weeks at 26%. Crochet, though. Now, let's talk about this. 150 Ks and 106.1 innings. We know how good he is at missing bats. But as you can see in red, I had to put an alert down there for you guys. He was pulled after 2 innings last start, and I don't know what they're going to do exactly. Maybe you don't want to take a chance. I had to include him because it's a good matchup, but I will say that they might be showcasing him for a trade. They might be doing that by limiting his pitches. They might just let him go now, and they were just doing that to pitch the start before the All-Star break to rest his arm, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know how it's going to work out. As far as we know, maybe the books will tell us, but if he does pitch a full game, obviously this is a good pitcher strikeout matchup. He does have a little lower K rate on the road, 29.6% compared to at home, which is unbelievable. I mean, it's almost 40% of batters at home. He's striking out 40%, but of course, he is on the road in this one. So those are the two good pitcher strikeout matchups. And now let's take a look at the pitcher report. All right, these are the first 8 matchups of the day, and as you can see, we got some teams that have not listed a pitcher yet, like the Tigers, Marlins, Nationals, and we got more on the second page, but this is an interesting slate, but we got Mr. Paul Skeens. I mean, what more do you want? He has been absolutely elite. He pitches like he's been in the league for 7 or 8 years, and he's got the just most electric stuff. It is so fun to watch. 0.92 whip, 1.9 ERA. He has yet to lose a game in the major leagues. 35% K rate. It is all absolutely insane. You would think he would at least walk guys or do something wrong. He doesn't. 5.1% K rate or walk rate there. And then Suarez, who's been pretty good, but is due for a lot of negative regression there for the Orioles, facing no-namer right now for the Marlins. Vasquez, who I make fun of all the time, he's not a very good pitcher. He's been okay lately, I'll say that, but he is destined to be a car salesman. And then Jose Quintana versus Luis Hill. We are going to talk about that one in just a little bit. Jose Barrios, you see there, he's been better at home, but still just not a great year. We talked about negative regression earlier this year for him. I know some of you guys didn't like when I bashed Jose Barrios, but he has had that negative regression. He's now up to a 4 ERA, and he still has a 5 expected ERA, not missing a lot of bats. And then down there, of course, we got Chris Sale and then Zach Wheeler. So we got some really good pitchers and some really not so good pitchers on this slate. But we know all how good Wheeler is. He has been just an absolute stud with that 2.61 expected ERA. So if you're new, all the averages are on the bottom. Hopefully this helps you get some winners or just starts your day. But that is page 1 of the pitcher report. Now let's check out the last 7 matchups. All right, we already know the big man. Garrett Crochet takes the mound going up against John Gray in Texas. And we'll see how much Crochet throws there. But one of the luckier pitchers, like we talked about before, Colin Ray, 3.77 ERA. It's starting to trickle up a little bit with that 5.1 expected ERA. And kind of like Barrios, he just doesn't have a high K rate. He doesn't miss a lot of bats, 17.2%. And then the lefty, Jordan Montgomery, takes the mound again. It has been an absolute struggle for him with a 6.44 ERA. Just a terrible K rate. I mean, he got paid a lot of money after holding out, and he has been awful. Just absolutely awful. And then Marsh for the Royals, 4.5 ERA. He's nothing special. Pitched a little better at home, but it just has not been pretty. So far right now, the Rockies have Herman Marquez, or as I just call him, German. He has only pitched 4 innings, so we'll see. He may not even pitch. Maybe he only goes a couple innings. But that one is just a tough game to handicap because Boston has nobody right now. And then Bloss versus Beto. What a matchup, huh? Bloss versus Beto. We can't wait for that one. I don't have a lot to say to that one, guys. And then Logan Gilbert, who's been a stud all year, going up against Soriano of the Angels, as the Mariners put up another huge 1 run and lose a game yesterday. And then Nick Nack Paddywhack, give the dog a bone down there in the bottom, going up against Hicks of the San Francisco Giants. Hicks has been pretty good. He's due for some negative regression, but his first full year as a starter, where he's really pitched a lot. He's a slightly above average pitcher, I would say. But Knack, the jury's still out on him for me. 39 innings pitched, slightly above average K rate. The numbers and everything that you've seen, he's been pretty good. So, but anyways, those are all 15 matchups for the pitcher report. And now it is time for the big game breakdown. All right, before we get into that big game breakdown, we got to tell you about KALSHI. We've mentioned it before, guys. It is unbelievable. It's federally regulated in all 50 states. It's trading. It's like stocks, but on things that actually interest you of all world events. There is absolutely nothing like it. We've been making trades of the day and having a ton of fun doing it. We're going to do it later this week as well. But I do have to mention, I have had 4 trades so far that have officially closed and won 3 of those 4. As you guys know, we were waiting on that college football video game. We needed a Metacritic score of 80 or higher, and we got it for a nice cash. Eminem having the #1 album this year. It has happened. We cashed that one too. So it's been a sweet little run. We're having a lot of fun. Ryan's got involved with it. Our wives have. I mean, just go click that KALSHI link below. First 500 signups get a $20 bonus credit, and go have some fun with us and trade. So, anyways, that's KALSHI. But the big game breakdown takes us out to New York, and we got the Subway Series between the Mets and the Yankees. Yankees on the money line -155, Mets on the money line +130 with a total of 8.5 runs. All right, here we go. Let's dive in. The spot in this one now. This is only going to be a 2-game series, which is kind of weird, but the Mets are coming here after splitting a 4-game series in Miami. This will be their 5th game of a 6-game road trip. The Yankees will be staying at home after beating the Rays in a pretty early game, so the Rays could get out of here. So the Yankees are going to have a decent amount of rest here. This will be the 5th game of a 6-game homestand, so obviously advantage Yanks here as they stay at home. But starting pitcher matchup, the lefty, Jose Quintana versus the righty, Luis Gil. Let's talk Quintana for a little bit. He's a 35-year-old veteran who's had a decent season, let's be honest, but 4.13 ERA, 1.26 whip. He has given up 2 or less earned runs in 5 of his last 6 starts. The one he didn't was his last start before the All-Star break when he faced Colorado at home and gave up 5 earned runs. It was not pretty. Now some home-away splits. At home, 3.58 ERA, giving up a 2.21 average and 4.76 slugging. He has a higher K rate at home at 20.3%. Still below average, but it's still a higher one. On the road, 4.79 ERA, so 1.21 higher than at home, giving up a 269 average and 374 slugging. So he has struggled more on the road in regards to his ERA and average, but he has given up less slugging on the road. And he has a low 15.6% K rate as well. Exact same walk rate home or away. So righty-lefty splits. First, he has faced a lot more righties. It's absolutely insane. He has faced 337 righties this year and only 99 lefties. So take these numbers for what it is. But versus righties, 242 average, 413 slugging versus lefties, 250 average and 478 slugging. Not a huge difference there, just some more slugging to lefties. And then exact same K rates and a little higher walk rate to righties. 8.6% walk rate compared to 5.1% walk rate to lefties. Quintana is a guy, when you look at him, he does well the first time through the order. He has a 2.98 ERA through the first time through a batting order. Second time, 4.74. Third time, 5.57. It gets ugly, that's for sure. And he has not faced the Yankees yet this season. Now the righty, Luis Gil. This is a guy who was a favorite for the for the Rookie of the Year and everything like that. He dominated for most of the year, and then he went on what was some sort of slump where he just lost his command. He was getting hit all over the place. He had a 0.70 ERA in May, and then followed that up with a 6.45 ERA in June. You want to know why it's hard to bet baseball? Because of things like that. How are you going to predict when a guy goes from dominating to absolutely awful? And that's what Luis Gil did. So far in July, steadied the ship a little bit, 3.24 ERA, and that's what you like to see. His last 2 starts have been much better. He gave up 1 earned run to both the Boston Red Sox and the Baltimore Orioles. He did get his swing and miss stuff back a little bit, 9 Ks and 7 Ks, but before that, that was the slump, 20 earned runs in 22.1 innings. Now, home and away splits, pretty even. Home, 3.29 ERA, 168 average against, and a 319 slugging. On the road, 3.04 ERA, 175 average against, and 294 slugging. As you can tell, it has been very hard for people to hit him this year. He has a much higher K rate at home, which is where he is, obviously. 31.9% compared to 24.3% on the road. So this is the spot to be if you want to tail him. But he does have a slightly lower walk rate at home, too. 10.8% walk rate at home, which is still pretty high, compared to 12.6% on the road. Now let's talk some righty-lefty splits here. So versus righties, 147 average against and 263 slugging. Absolutely elite, guys. I mean, that's insane. A 147 average against. And then lefties, pretty dang good as well. 198 average and a 355 slugging. He's given up 9 home runs total this year, 5 to lefties and 4 to righties. And unlike Mr. Quintana, he's actually faced a decent amount of both. 223 righties faced and 196 lefties faced this year. That's the pitchers. Now let's talk some offenses. Mets, since July 1st versus righties, 13th WRC plus, 21st in slugging, and 13th in on-base percentage. So the days of them absolutely crushing people, it's starting to cool off a little bit, like obviously we expected it to. The Yankees, since July 1st versus lefties, because that's who they're facing, 26th WRC plus, 28th slugging, and 20th on-base percentage. They haven't been great versus lefties. Let's just face it, the last few weeks. So the Mets have been better in those splits. But bullpen, Mets just threw their closer, Edwin Diaz, the ex-Mariner, for 28 pitches yesterday. I'm going to assume he's not available in this one. And then Jose Buto, he threw 29 pitches. Remember him, used to be a starter. And Matone, I don't know how you pronounce that, but he threw 13 pitches. Yankees, they're in pretty good shape. Tommy Cannell threw 24 pitches and Cousins threw 12. So both bullpens are in pretty decent shape here. Last 30 days, though, this is wild. The Mets are dead last. They have the worst bullpen ERA in the last 30 days at 5.82. What that means is it's worse than the Rockies and the White Sox. That's just insane. But I will say this, with their 5.82, they have a 3.82 xFIP. That's a huge difference. They have been getting a little unlucky. This is not a bullpen that is going to be dead last for the rest of the season or anything. 3.82 xFIP. The Yankees xFIP, which is kind of a way to tell how you've been if you're getting lucky, unlucky with balls in play and different things like that. Yankees 3.64 xFIP, so it's not a big difference there. But the Yankees 15th best ERA at 3.94. So that's the bullpen numbers. That's all the research. You want the best bet, and you're gonna not like it. I don't have one yet. I really don't. Again, you guys know I'm not forcing anything. It's really been working for us lately. This game is tough, but we're gonna talk through this. I got a lean for you, but let's talk through why I don't. First of all, what Mets offense are we going to get? Are we going to get the one that absolutely dominated through the month of June? Or are we going to get the one that's kind of been struggling a little bit, a little pedestrian the last few weeks, and kind of going back to, falling back to planet Earth a little bit? And then second, what Luis Gil are we going to get? I mean, are we going to get the one that dominated for most of the season, that's just been lights out, almost competing for a Cy Young? Or the one that came back to reality, gave up like 22 earned runs in 20 innings or something like that? There's just too many unknowns in this one. The Mets are in a tough spot. My lean for this game is going to be the Yankees minus a half a run in the first 5 innings. I know the Yankees haven't hit lefties as well, but I think they can get to Quintana here, who's due for some negative regression. And I do like what I saw from Luis Gil the last 2 starts. I'm gonna take him on the bigger sample size of him actually pitching well. Now that I've seen it for a couple games that he's gotten back to it, he just needs his command. I don't want him to leave pitches down the middle. He needs to not walk a ton of guys. As long as he can have some decent command, I think he can slow down the Mets offense. But again, it's a tough one to predict because the Mets can go off at any time, obviously. And obviously the Yankees have not been great against lefties. So my lean is the Yankees minus a half run in the first 5 innings because I think Gil can slow down this Mets offense more than Quintana can against these Yankees. But anyways, that's my lean. That is the big game breakdown. Hopefully, whatever I said during that game at least helped you go find a bet in this game in another way. So that's what we got. Now, let's talk some more best bets. All right, before we get into this first bet, I just have to let you guys know the board is ugly right now, especially the night before. I think BetMGM only has 7 of the 15 games up even right now. Just a lot of unknowns. So I have 2 bets for you. They're both going to be a half unit, but I'll add more in the morning. Don't you worry. I just want to let you know where we're at. But this first game takes us out to Pittsburgh. We got the Pittsburgh Pirates hosting the St. Louis Cardinals. Pirates on the money line minus 180. Cardinals on the money line plus 150 with a total of 8 runs in this one. I'm going to go same game parlay. You're going to see in these 2 bets I have today, I had to get creative because like I said, there's nothing I really love and there's just not a lot of options out there the night before. Give me Paul Skeens 7+ Ks and the Pirates on the money line at plus 112 on DraftKings. I like getting plus money for this one for a half unit. So Skeens 7+ Ks. You already know how good Skeens is. I mean, he has 7+ Ks in 10 of his last 11 starts. And by the way, that's just all of his starts. So the 7 number is practically automatic for him. We've seen him pitch before against the Cardinals. He had 8 strikeouts against them. And the only time he's ever faced a major league team twice, because he has a young career, obviously, was the Cubs. The second time he faced the Cubs, he had 11 Ks. So it wasn't like advantage hitters or anything. I'm not too worried about a second meeting here. And that one was actually back-to-back starts as well. But you guys all know Paul Skeens. I mean, what else can I say? This guy is going to be probably one of the best pitchers of this generation. He started the freaking All-Star game as a rookie. I mean, there's nothing more to say. He's only getting better with strikeouts. May, he had a 35.7% K rate. That's just stupid. June, 33.1%, also silly. And then July, how about 38%? It's just insane. It really is. So the Cardinals offense versus righties, They have an average K rate versus righty, so it's not like he has some awesome matchup, and he also doesn't have some terrible matchup. But since July 1st, they've been average. Two of the last three righties have actually hit this mark of 7 or more, and guess who they were? Mr. Spencer Schwellenbach, Czechoslovakia, had 8 Ks, and Bryce Elder 9 Ks. Skeens is just a little bit better. I'm just going to say that. But again, that doesn't mean he's going to get it because those two guys, I'm just letting you know, the Cardinals can still strike out here. So, but I don't really have much more to say on this one, honestly. It's like Paul Skeens is unbelievable. He's done this 10 of 11. Give me him to get 7+ Ks. If you want to go over 7.5, I don't mind that either. Pirates money line. Now, in the 11 starts, Paul Skeens himself is 6-0. The Pirates are 8-3 in his starts so far this year. He's only given up more than 2 earned runs in 2 of 11 starts, and one of those was his Major League Baseball debut. So, since his debut, only one time has he given up more than 2 earned runs. That's pretty impressive. Facing a Cardinals offense, again, another part of this. Last 30 days, they've been pretty good. This is where the numbers are going to say, well, the Cardinals have been pretty good. Maybe you should side with them. It's all about Skeens for me in this one. But he is, well, it's not all about it. It's also about Lance Lynn. But Cardinals in the top 5 the last 30 days. And it does help because 2 of those games they scored 9 and 11 runs. So it's a little inflated, but still, no taking it away from them. The Cardinals have been better lately. But Skeens is just too good. Again, he already faced the Cardinals, gave up 0 earned runs in 6.1 innings. But now let's talk about someone else other than Mr. Skeens. It's Mr. Lance Lynn. Holy cow. He's not very good, guys. He struggles on the road especially. How about a 5.36 ERA on the road? He is giving up almost a 300 average to hitters. That is absolutely not good. Not missing a ton of at-bats or ton of bats, and he's facing a Pirates offense. You think they're terrible because for the most part of the year, they haven't been great. They have the 11th best WRC plus versus righty since July 1st. They have been swinging the bat a little bit better lately. They swing it at home pretty well as also. So the starting pitcher advantage is too big. I like how the Pirates are swinging it, meaning it's good enough at least to protect Skeens. And then if you look at the bullpens, here's what's surprising. There's no advantage either way. They both have a top 5 bullpen in the last 30 days. Cardinals 2.66 ERA. Pirates with a 2.68 ERA as well. So with how all the pitching's done, you could take an under, but it's Lance Lynn. So I trust the Pirates to score enough runs and get the win here. So give me the Pirates on the money line. Paul Skeens 7+ Ks as my first best bet. All right, the second one is a 2-leg parlay. Again, it's going to be alt lines. I had to get creative today. So give me the D-backs team total over 3.5 and the under 5.5 in the first 5 innings in the Mariners and Angels game. It's at -109 on DraftKings. This is a half unit play for me. So D-backs team total over 3.5. This line is already 4.5, juiced at like -150 already. I just need over 3.5 for them. They are facing Mr. Alec Marsh of the Royals. Marsh, 4 ERA at home. It's a little better at home, but still 4.57 xFIP at home. Nothing special. This guy is not. He has an 11.6% walk rate at home, a below average K rate. He has given up now overall 3 or more earned runs in 8 of his last 11 starts. Really 8 of 10. He pitched 1 inning in one of those starts. But he's facing a D-backs offense. If you don't know, now you know. But they have actually been really good. Versus righties in the last 30 days, 8th best WRC+, 7th best slugging, 7th lowest K rate, and the 4th highest walk rate. It's been pretty impressive for them lately. It is great hitting weather. I mean, it is going to be good hitting weather. There's a reason the total in this game is 10. Also, because Jordan Montgomery's on the other side. He's not very good as well. If you want to take the over in this game, you could. But there's 9 guaranteed at-bats as the road team for the D-backs. All we need is 4. I love it. Second leg, the under 5.5. This is the total runs in the first 5 innings in the Angels and Mariners. So this may go under 5.5 for the full game. Let's be honest with you. This is just first 5. The Mariners suck so bad offensively, just so incredibly bad. And now Julio Rodriguez has been out for a little last day or two. He looks like he's day-to-day nursing an ankle sprain. I don't think he's going to play in this one. Again, I've said it before, he's like their only competent hitter right now. They just scored 1 run yesterday versus the Angels. That's just how good they are. Maybe just take Mariners team total under 3.5 every single day. But Logan Gilbert takes the mound for the M's also. He's been solid. All-star. We all know how good he's been. Angels have been a team that hit lefties better, like we talked about yesterday when we tailed Bryce Miller over and outs. And obviously, Logan Gilbert is not a lefty. They struggled against Bryce Miller again yesterday. It's in Seattle. It's a hitting ballpark, or a pitcher's ballpark. The number 1 actually in the league. I think in this one, we're looking at like a 1-1 type game, maybe 2-1 type game. 5.5, probably don't even need to go. Maybe at 4.5, it would be a good one. But the line is set at 3.5 for a reason. I just need 5 or less runs in the first 5 innings. So that is the second best bet. It is absolutely late. You can probably tell I'm literally just trying to keep my eyes open while I do this. But it's almost midnight, trying to look for all these bets and everything. I will have the hitter parlay ideas in the pinned comments probably right after this video, if not early in the morning like I did yesterday. So be sure to go check that out. And of course, I'm going to have more than 2 bets. I'll have those in the pinned comments on X and on Discord. So be sure to check that out. But that's what I got for you today. Now let's check out the recap. All right, there it is. 2 bets so far. Mr. Skeen, 7+ Ks in the Pirates money line at +112. And then the D-backs team total over 3.5 and the under 5.5 in the first 5 innings of Seattle and the Angels at -109. 2 half-unit plays. We'll get some more volume hopefully in the morning. But again, just not a lot out there, and I don't want to force anything. So let's see if we can make it another profitable day. Maybe make it 14 to the last 15. But I just want to say thank you guys for the support every single day. I appreciate it. Be sure to leave that Dinger Tuesday comment below with a chance to win 1 month free of Outlier. So hope you have a great Tuesday, and we'll talk to you soon.